tornado that's over by Pilot Point. Perhaps a very powerful tornado. It's always hard to tell at night and just by radar what we're dealing with. But the circulation is very clear on radar, and there are reports of the tornado on the ground. Again, this is a tornado warning for Collin County now to 11:45 and Grayson County to 11:45. It is right now over Denton in northern parts of that county near Pilot Point and the lake. It will continue to move off to the east at 30 miles an hour. I'm going to put it back to reflectivity. As we deal with this tornado, a very dangerous situation in Denton County, that is the only storm right now in North Texas, and it is producing a tornado. And that flashing purple means it is a confirmed tornado. Moving over back to velocity, where we can certainly see it much better, you can see that circulation. We look for where the red and the green have come together. That shows where the core rotation is of the tornado, and you can see it is closing in on Pilot Point as we speak. It seems to have slowed down a little bit. It might have kind of formed and reformed. Sometimes that happens when they're like this. There's sometimes many vorticities, smaller vorticities inside of the larger circulation. There's a lot of chaos with a tornado, and this one at night is right around Pilot Point and looks like it has just, there's the latest information, it might have moved right over Pilot Point at this time. We've been trying to pick it up on our own C-band radar over on Lynx 3, but it is literally at the very edge of the velocity data, so we're not getting a very clear signature. But that is this is the radar out of Spinks and Fort Worth, and you can see that circulation that is now past Pilot Point, headed towards County Road 10, and will continue to go off to the east. This is towards Gunter, this is towards Weston, this is towards Anna, this is towards Melissa. So we are really getting into some higher populations now. All these areas and parts of northern Collin County have really increased in population over the last couple of years. So this is getting to be a more populated area than it was just 10 years ago. And this is a tornado that is on the ground at night approaching it. Again, there's a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm, this tornado, and the lightning goes all the way up towards the Red River, and to the north of the storm is a hailstorm going on, but the concern, of course, is the tornado. Again, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you that circulation. It's a little bit wider apart in this particular scan. That might mean it might be in a kind of pulse down, pulse up cycle. This is a very large supercell. It's very chaotic. We're probably seeing smaller rotations getting kicked out from the storm. This, when I change it over to reflectivity, you can see now how it's almost completely rain wrapped, and you wouldn't be able to see it even if it was daytime, probably because of the way it is covered in around rain, has wrapped all the way around the rotation. But that is the rotation there, and it has passed over Pilot Point. It's leaving Lake Ray Roberts, and it continues to, now heading off to the east and going into Collin County. So it's going to cross over by Celina. So this is, of course, you know, Highway 289 that comes, 289 that comes up from the south there, that connects Marley and Celina and Prosper. So as it approaches that road, let me highlight what I'm talking about. As it approaches that road, that is where there are substantial neighborhoods now and built-out subdivisions as it approaches off to the east. So let's put a track on it. I'm going to get the latest information from the National Weather Service on the movement of the storm, because they have just updated it again. This is an update on the warning. It's moving now east. Now they're saying 20 miles an hour. As I was saying, it was slowing down. It has. The circulation has broadened a little bit, as you can tell. It might be in a little bit of a pulse down. In the moment, it's still extremely dangerous. We think a tornado crossed the lake, crossed over by Pilot Point, and is now getting ready to move into parts of Collin County. It's the northern part of Collin County, north of McKinney, where this warning is in effect till 11:45. You can see that circled area is our best guess on what we're seeing as far as the tornado, but look at that. Now it seems to be reorganizing again. It was kind of pulsing down and it's splitting. So we have a rotation now, another one forming over the lake. We have the original circulation that is pushed off a little bit more off to the east and reforming. This is a very dangerous storm, producing tornadoes and what might be multiple tornadoes as it moves off to the east. I'm going to put it in motion, and again, what you're looking for are these areas where the green and the red are right next to each other, and I'll clear that out so you can see the chaotic nature of what a tornado is. You see just in the last 30 minutes how it went from one pulse down and now split, and it seems like two are trying to form. There could be just vortex tornado there going on, or it literally could be twin spouts on the ground. It's impossible to tell. We wouldn't see it anyway. It's at night and it's wrapped by rain, but we do know it's extremely dangerous, a considerably dangerous situation in progress, as described by the National Weather Service. In motion now off to the east at 20 miles an hour. It has slowed down. You have a little bit more in reaction time, and Marley and Weston, Celina, we have this little moment here to get shelter as it heads towards Anna and Melissa and continues to be this major threat. Of course, that's 289 that it's going to cross eventually, as I have to change the arrival time because it has slowed down. It was going up to 40 miles an hour there for a bit as it was getting into Denton County. It's now going 20 miles an hour. This first circulation that I was telling you, it is the original one. It kind of pulsed down and now it's coming back up. It's this one right here. This is the new one behind it. This circulation moving off to the east at about 20 miles an hour. The latest information has just come in, the latest scan, and it's telling me that, yeah, this is becoming more and more two circulations. Another one over Lake Roberts, and the original one that has passed now off to the east of Pilot Point, getting ready to cross into Collin County as it approaches 289 and Weston, the town of Weston. Now that I have the new trajectory 20 miles per hour in Weston, we're talking about 11:46. It's now 11:12. If it got all the way to Anna and Melissa, that's at midnight. If it holds together that long, we'll wait and see. That now it seems to be two circulations that we are tracking here. Two circulations from the storm. The hail is over by Gunter. It's closing in onto Howe. That's where you're getting a hailstorm. The tornado itself is south of that and headed towards Weston and Anna and Melissa. And the circulation that has been quite pronounced earlier as one storm is looking more and more like two storms. So first, there's the new one that formed on the backside that's over close to the lake. This is Highway 377. It's getting ready to cross 377 just on the east side of Lake Ray Roberts. The other circulation, which was the one we were following originally and still seems to be a tornado, circled that one. That's at around Brennan Road, Meyer Road, I hope I'm saying that right, County Road 10, which is also Blaine Road. That one is getting ready to cross the county line and go into Collin. This is very dangerous being at night like this, have a storm on the ground at night. We had Mike Pendergrass on this storm, but we have had so much trouble getting signals out of this area because of all the thunder, all the strong winds from the storms that have been coming out. I think they've been doing a lot of damage to the communication systems, and we are been efforting trying to get a hold of Mike and what he's been seeing. But this twin circulation area, another one coming over Pilot Point. Can you believe they just got through one and now another one? That is just hard to believe, but that rotation that's in front of it is the bigger one, and that is the one that is moving off to the east at 20 miles an hour. I'm just seeing this circulation continues to be more organized. This one up front ahead of it continues to kind of get a better feel for it. This is the one I'm talking about right here, and that's the county line into Collin County. That's the town of Weston. And if it's still moving at 20 miles an hour, that puts it in Weston by 11:43. It is 11:15. You actually have almost 30 minutes to prepare yourself to get into a safe space in the centermost part of your room. No windows, hopefully a door. Try to put something over you, like even a mattress or a blanket. Head injuries are your biggest concern if you're inside a well-built house from things flying around. So even a bike helmet is good to have on in a situation like that. So once it gets by Weston, now the next towns up would be Anna and Melissa. Of course, you know, this is where State Highway 121 comes up and splits from 75, and there it is. You know, this is the area that could be affected by this tornado that has slowed down and split at the same time. There's the major rotation we've been tracking, and there's the new one in its wake. There's the reflectivity, a lot of heavy rain there. To the north, where you see all this bright parts of purple and black, that is where likely the very either big hail or lots of small hail is falling. It's hard to tell sometimes in the readings, but radar is saying at least golf ball size hail going on there. Sometimes we can look in rotation in CC, what we call it, and it picks out where the large hail is, and that might be very large hail that's by Gunter. But that would make sense. That's where the highest reflectivity is. We've been on velocity most of the time here because it shows the circulation of the storm. I'll back it up just for a few minutes. That's a 15 minutes. It went from one big tornado and split into two other ones as it pulsed down and pulsed back up. And this is closer to the original circulation that is at 20 miles an hour as it crosses the county line, going to be in Weston by 11:46. So Weston by 11:46. If it continues at this path, it'll cross 289, and then it'll head towards 75 at the 75-121 split, maybe a little north of there. Let me clear this out and zoom it out. If you're just now joining us, I'll let you know that this is the only thunderstorm going on, this supercell that is moving across northern Collin County and parts of Grayson. That's the only storm in all of North Texas. It is producing a tornado, perhaps a couple of tornadoes. The latest information that came in on reflectivity showed this circulation really tightening up. I can't stress to you how dangerous that looks right there. As we get a little bit closer, this is between County Road 60 to the west of it is County Road 10. It's headed right over State Highway 289 and County Road 132. It is really close now to the town of Weston. Again, we will show you that at 20 miles an hour, the last information we're getting from the National Weather Service on its forward momentum, it had slowed down. It would be in Weston at 11:43 if it kept at 20 miles an hour. But anytime a new rotation gets going, we get a little bit change in the speed as well, usually. They are getting reports of that that tornado that was back behind it is really not a tornado, a funnel cloud. At least that's what the spotter is saying. I'm seeing other reports of power flashes east of 377. So they are saying there are 2 tornadoes now. We're getting reports from a spotter, a second tornado over 377 at St. John Road. So it's a mile north of there. So there do appear to be 2 tornadoes on the ground right now. The original tornado is tracking northeast towards Tioga. Oh, wow. It's moving northeast, so it really has split off and taken a different direction. That is disturbing, because this is such chaos from this major supercell, and it keeps on putting out all this rotation that is producing tornadoes. And I'm trying to get a sense that it is moving differently, but it looks like to me it continues to move east-southeast, maybe more east of southeast, but it is certainly the first rotation, what appears to be the stronger tornado right there. There were reports of a funnel cloud and then reports of a tornado with the storm that is the circulation that is near Tioga, but that is not the bigger one, obviously. In fact, in the latest velocity update, that looks like that has died out. I'm not surprised. Those ones that are trailing behind usually have trouble keeping their circulation, but this primary one, oh, it is still going strong. So this is I hate to see this at night on a Memorial Day weekend, no less, and to think that we've had this storm move over Lake Roy Roberts as a possible tornado. Where all these people are camping on Memorial Day. So as it is approaching Weston, okay, I'm trying to think some of these things that are around this area, but basically the road out of Weston heading west out of there, that's Farm to Market Road 455, and that is kind of the place where this storm seems to be wanting. This tornado is kind of headed. So, you know, we're State Highway 289. If you're familiar with this area, there's 289, a very well-traveled road. I was telling you earlier, you know, that as it crosses up towards Gunter, that is where it's going to cross, okay, just to the south of Gunter and Collin County. Right around North Louisiana Drive, it seems where it is right now. There's County Road 97, County Road 132. Let me again circle this. That's the tornado, and that is the town of Weston. You are in its path. 11:42 now, the arrival time. It is 11:22. This circulation has been moving at 20 miles per hour to the east-southeast, the best I can tell. This is still, you've got some time from Anna, because we're talking about after midnight in Anna and Melissa. But this is closing in on the town of Weston. And we will, again, circle this. The tornado warning goes to 11:45. I know if you're in Grayson County, you're getting information that you're under a tornado warning, confirmed tornado warning, but the tornado is to your south. You're getting the hail and the lightning. The tornado itself is in Collin County, just crossing 289 at this moment. Crossing 289 north of Celina, it is headed towards Weston. And Chambersville is off towards the south of Weston. You also might be in the path of this if it continues to move just a little south of east. It has slowed down and has been turning right. And now without that circulation behind it, it's really starting to wind up again. And there you go, another circulation trying to form behind it. This is, say that again, Julie, I'm sorry. Okay, let's talk to Mike Prendergrass. He's been here in this area all night. Mike, please tell me what you're seeing.
side of Pilot Point here. This is where the circulation had gone over earlier. And I'm seeing lots of tree debris down. There's no power at all through here. Here's a larger tree. I don't know if you can see this on my shot here. That's kind of blocking the road here, but lots of small trees, stuff like that down right now. I saw the circulation kind of look like it went through the north side, so I'm kind of getting to that area now. So this is likely RFD damage from the winds wrapping around. But yeah, I'll keep an eye out. I'll let you know if I find any more significant damage here in Pilot Point.
Okay, Mike. Yeah, it does appear like it crossed the lake and went right over Pilot Point. And Mike is reporting trees down in that area, as you would expect. Very powerful winds. That circulation right now is off to his east by about almost 11 miles off to his east. It is very close now to the town of Weston. We've been trying to warn you, Weston residents, that this tornado is approaching you. I know there's winds all over the place right now because I can see it in the velocity data. It looks like this thing is winding up because it's starting to get another inflow notch. At the same time, we're seeing a wraparound come around and try to tighten up this circulation. So there's a lot of concern still here. We're at 11:25 at night, and this tornado, it just seems to be in full bore, heading down towards Weston. Full circulation showing up on radar. And we can look at the velocity in a couple of ways, but this will allow us to maybe sample some of the wind speeds coming out of that storm. And again, this is about 4,000 feet off the ground, and you got 50, 60 mile per hour winds, but we don't know what the winds are with this tornado that appears to be on the ground headed almost to Weston. This is State Road 289, the road that goes to Gunter. And you can see it is passing 289 right now. It's probably just off to the east at this moment as it heads for the town of Weston. There's the latest information. I'll zoom out so we can see that gate to gate that we talk about all the time. When the greens and the reds come together, you notice how they're a little bit further apart in the moment. That is promising. It might be pulsing down for a moment before it tries to gather strength again. That would be good news for the town of Weston, but that is no certainty. We are seeing this storm at about 4,000 feet over the ground. We don't know what's happening underneath it. The radar can't reach it. So there could be we think there's a tornado on the ground here, and we wouldn't be able to see it with velocity, but any kind of evidence would come from Storm Tracker. So we're getting some reports in now that confirms what Mike was seeing of some damage in Pilot Point, certainly a lot of trees down in that area. We're seeing some pictures of that damage now in social media sites. It is approaching Weston, and just like that, it is. I see what happened. Yeah, so the velocity, what happened is the velocity skipped on us. It has now moved to where it's almost due east. There it is now. And unfortunately, this real quick reformation of this velocity puts it almost directly right over Weston here shortly. I was hoping that it would move a little bit to the south of it, but at 11:36, it's 11:28. We're talking about in 6 or 8 minutes, this circulation could be right over the small town of Weston, just as it continues to head towards 75 there. That is the circulation. I'll again circle it. And it's somewhere right in there, we think, is a tornado. We've had a confirmed tornado, and it is difficult at night to continue with the information. Now, they said when it crossed 289, it was a tornado. that a spotter watched it cross 289, and I was telling you that when there's 289 right there, and the circulation would go right over, and the spotter was there and saw a tornado there. So we're going to assume that it's right there. It must be, given the circulation and what we're hearing from trained spotters. So this is a nighttime tornado. There's a tremendous amount of lightning associated with this storm. Most of the worst lightning is to the north from it. There's the latest velocity data showing it inching closer to the town of Weston. There's some very strong winds on the north part of the circulation. As these storms go up and down, and the pure chaos that is near the lower part of the storm, we do get all sorts of side readings in the velocity data, but the tornado appears, the best we can tell using the velocity data, because it is bouncing around the gate to gate, is right over Weston. This is delayed by about 1.5 minutes because this is the National Weather Service radar that does a volume scan, and right now they're in the sales mode, the storm mode, so they're only doing usually the lower 3 levels and getting that out right away. So we're getting rather pertinent information on a timely basis. There is still a little bit of a delay. Town of Weston. All right, there's the town of Anna and Melissa, much bigger populations as we cross 75. As the closer we get to 75, the more likely this tornado will hit a subdivision. There is that circulation over by Lone Star Road and Weston and Farm to Market 543. And just now approaching the bigger town of Melissa, which obviously is a major concern. Now, we know it was approaching Weston. We're trying to warn you. I think it continues somewhere in this vicinity. It might split the difference between Anna and Melissa, but that's all filled in here over the last 5 years with residents. So now they're a very populated area. Moving this tornado right over Weston, headed towards Anna and Melissa as it crosses 75. Now, they have canceled the tornado warning, the part that was up in Grayson County, Cook County, I'm sorry, because of the the obvious thing is that the circulation and another one that is behind it, well, that one is right behind it might be a tornado as well, but you can see the main tornado right over Weston. That one is all in Collin County. So it looks like they've redrawn the polygon again. The tornado warning, confirmed tornado, 11:45. And the town of Weston is right there under it. I'll change it over reflectivity to see, yeah, look how wound up it is now. It has we have a clear inflow, and it's another, the rear flank is starting to wrap it. So there's no reason to believe this is not a tornado on the ground still from earlier reports of tornado. We're going to go to Mike Prendergrass in just a moment from Pilot Point. I just wanted to sample some of these winds that we're seeing coming out in this rotation, but we know that this rotation moved right over Pilot Point by the lake. We have Mike Pendergrass there to tell us what he's seeing. Mike?
Yeah, hey, I'm in downtown Pilot Point. I'm in the square here. There is no power at all, completely out. Lots of tree damage. I found a tree that was on somebody's house well here in town. I don't see evidence of a tornado, at least not on this part of town, but definitely high winds for sure caused quite a bit of damage through the town here.
No surprise there, Mike. I mean, It was kind of pulsing up and down when it was crossing Pilot Point. So, you know, might have just been downburst winds associated with that tornado that was skipping around as it was moving down to the southeast at that moment. But they are reporting power flashes now around the Weston area. That's sometimes a sign of a tornado on the ground just ripping apart the power lines. It can be done by wind, but power flashes are a good indication of tornado. And that, by the way, what Mike was just talking about in Pilot Point, he is right now in downtown Pilot Point. This circulation has now gone about 17 miles further down the road and now over Weston, where they're reporting these power flashes. Anna, Melissa, 75, if you live up and down 75, you need to know that there's a possible, well, I keep saying possible because the velocity at moments is some clear and then another moment not so clear. Let's just say there's a tornado here, and it is now past Weston and moving towards 75. Anna, Melissa, these are some very populated areas. A lot of suburbs have been built right along this area on both sides of 75 and towards Anna and Melissa. Repeat that, Julie. What were you saying? Mike's gone? Okay. 75. You said Mike is on, or Mike is? No. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to circle that circulation again. Weston, Anna, Melissa, I'm telling you, there's a tornado headed your way. We have that tornado warning in progress, 11:45. We're getting reports of tornado damage where this storm is, and now we have a spotter reporting that just 5 miles east of Preston, 455. That seems a little dated. Anyway, they're reporting a large wedge probably seen by lightning flashes. So that's a tornado on the ground being reported. And this is County Road 210. This is the small town of Chambersville. Of course, 75 is right there. It's going to cross 75 somewhere just to the north of Melissa and maybe hit Anna directly or pass on the southern edge of Anna. All this has been built out, as you know, if you're familiar with this area, all this has been built out over the last, certainly the last 10 years, but probably more accurately say over the last 5 is with this building boom. This is one of the faster growing areas in the DFW area. And this tornado is going to move over where all this has been built up. We're getting more reports of power flashes in the Weston area as the rotation has been moving over there. The tornado has been moving over Weston, and now it's going to cross 75 and be between Melissa and Anna, and I think that's a debris signal. Yeah, we know there's a tornado on the ground, and just to the west of the circulation now, we're seeing debris that has been kicked up in the air and really far up in the air, because we're in northern Collin County, and that means the debris that you're seeing right there, and that icon means that it's picking up debris that has been pushed up into the atmosphere by the tornado. That's almost a mile above the tornado. It's 4,500 feet, and despite the fact it's that high up in the air, we just got a debris signal. That's an indication of a powerful tornado, folks, and it is passed right over Weston. And now the latest radar information shows it, and it shows it so close now to 75, and Anna and Melissa, we're not going anywhere. We're trying to keep you safe. I'll change it over to reflectivity, and we can see the hook on this supercell very clearly. These are the warnings out that now are in Hunt County to 12:15. It is in Collin County right now, northern Collin County, where this tornado is, but heads up Hunt County at its current direction and pace. You are in this confirmed tornado warning that is coming in at nighttime from the west. Fannin County is also in the warning. We'll have to wait and see if it continues its east path or if it's going to want to turn a little bit to the right. Tornado on the ground being reported near Weston. It is tracking towards Anna and northern Melissa in the next 5 to 10 minutes. I'm reading from the National Weather Service as they've been tracking it, and these are the things that we've been telling you as well. There is the debris signature that you can see. I'll show you the rotation is matched it. That has just a few moments old. There is the clear inflow notch that shows the circulation, and that is what we refer to as the hook of a supercell. It is almost always situated in the southwest or south side of the supercell. It is going to move over Anna and Melissa. It's going to has the potential to do tremendous damage. This is a very serious situation. We have this tornado coming through late at night on a holiday. It went over Ray Roberts Lake, and now it's gone over Weston, and we're getting debris. It's probably from the town of Weston. Debris way up in the atmosphere, almost a mile. The debris has been kicked up into the atmosphere, and that could be debris, likely debris from the tornado on the ground in Weston. Anna, Melissa, do you have friends in those towns? Call them real quick. They have a moment at the current pace. This is about a little bit before midnight. It's 11:40 right now. You got about 10 minutes to make the call if you know people in this area and let them know a tornado is bearing down on them. Yeah, that's a great reminder that, you know, there's been so much damage by this tornado. You might not have a phone line working, but you can text, and hopefully that will get through. This tornado is going to get so close to Anna, and all this area that has been built out is in the path. This is a report now from Valley View. This was earlier in the evening in Valley View that appears to have been hit by a tornado. Several overturned semi-trucks along with broken telephone poles. This was when it crossed I-35. Remember, that was way back in this coverage when it crossed 35, and now we're getting reports of the damage there. It appears to me, by looking at the velocity data, that this rotation that went over Weston and produced the debris is now almost right at 75. It's almost right there at the highway. It's going to cross there at County Road 366 and Farm to Market 455. I know they have names. I'm sorry, I don't know them off the top of my head, but that's that exit that you take at 455 to get into Anna. I think the tornado is very, very close to right there. The exit to the south of Outer Loop Road, the tornado is either there or just to the north of it. If this is your area, you need to take shelter immediately. There is a tornado on the ground. We're getting reports of damage. We're getting reports of power flashes. We've had our storm spotter, Mike Pendergrass, who was on the ground in Pilot Point where this tornado went over, reporting damage. We know it's been doing damage. And right now, it seems to be just ready to cross 75. I was telling you earlier, I think it's going to split the difference between Anna and Melissa, though, as you know, if you're familiar with this entire area has been built up, it seems, and especially along both sides of 75, and that is where this tornado is going to cross. This is just north of Chambersville. This is just right around Kelly, a little south of that. And crossing 75 puts it in Melissa and Anna, and eventually Chambliss if it continues the way its course. Now they haven't, I'll pan out and show you where they have put the new tornado warning out that goes to after midnight to 11:15 for the eastern part of northern Collin County, but they're including Fannin County, and they certainly are including Hunt County, with the track being more east-southeast. It's kind of a right-turning storm. You can see there's Pilot Point where Mike has been, and I can draw out kind of how the track has been, right like that. So you notice it's not due east. It's just a little bit south of east. And the velocity is really showing that it's been lingering over west and it's slowed down right there. And that's where we got the debris signature and the rotation. So let's put it into the latest. And there it is moving over the interstate. So this is just the last 15 minutes, so I'm not showing you a lot of the movement. Let me take off the rotation signal, and I will clear the earlier marking, and you can see that rotation. See it right over Weston? It's going to move right over Weston, produce the debris signature, and now as we look at the latest information, there it is. There's the tornado right there, getting ready to cross 75 near County Road 366. I think that's the outer loop one. Yeah. So that's the outer loop exit. The Farm Market 455 is just to the north. Again, we're looking at this storm at about 4,600 feet, so tornadoes rarely point straight down. It could be anywhere in this general vicinity where the tornado has made contact with the ground and is doing damage. I'm trying to follow at the same time all the updated information that we're getting in from the National Weather Service. And there are reports, more reports coming in of the damage that has been in the path of this storm. They have canceled the tornado watch for Cook and Denton because the tornado now obviously has passed that area, but they continued the tornado watch until 1 p.m. now for Anna and Melissa. I can show you that just real quick. That is the updated tornado watch until 1 o'clock for Collin County and up into Hunt County as well. And of course, they're both in the path of this rotation. You know, when I zoom out, you really can see it so much more clearly, can't you? Right there, where the green and the red meet. That's right at 75, and that is approaching Melissa and Anna. Let me show you the lightning. There's been so much lightning with this. Now, most of it is with the hail core north. As you approach the Red River, it's just a tremendous lightning storm with this supercell. When I put up reflectivity, you can see where the hail is, when the heavy rain and the hail is now just lunging forward across northern Collin County, headed into the southern part of Fannin and into Hunt County. It is very much a large hail maker, by the way, that's going on to the north of this tornado, part as well of this powerful storm that has produced a tornado. And we are getting reports of large hail as well. Radar is estimating walnut size, which isn't that big, honestly, but we'll continue to monitor that. But the main threat, obviously, is the tornado. So as we look at velocity and and try to make sense of all that. We are getting reports of a funnel behind this system. Another rotation back in here. Oh my, this supercell is just, I'm looking right here. They're getting reports that right there, that is making a funnel cloud, so a tornado trying to form, but that's the tornado. And zooming in a little closer, so we were telling you how it was approaching Highway 75. It looks like it's over Highway 75. It's gonna, if you're familiar with this area, all right, just around Melissa, just to the southwest of Melissa is where 75 and 121, 121 crosses 75, and so this is a major intersection down here. That's the, if you go just to the north of that, where all that construction was just finished, and that's where they cross. That's 4 miles to the north is where this tornado is crossing 75. It appears, again, as we look at rotation 4,000 feet up, and the tornado rarely pointing straight down from the rotation, somewhere around the outer loop road exit, and maybe just to the north of it. It really is hard to tell, but this general area, I know that area. There is just a lot of buildings there, and a lot of suburbs when you cross and get into newly built suburbs when you cross and get into parts of southern Anna. That's State Highway 121 that's going up towards the northeast. And again, the green and the red together, gate to gate, we call it. That is what I circled right there. And that is the tornado. The warning goes to 12:15. I'll zoom out a little bit more. The warning for Hunt County is included in that, as well as the warning in Fannin County. This is, let me see if I can get, so the report from the National Weather Service is basically what I was just saying, that if the tornado is still on the ground, it is right over Highway 75 right now and is on the south side of Anna. And that means that here at almost midnight, there is a tornado on the ground moving through northern Collin County. That is a lot of lightning with it. And that's the only warning you're getting. It's happening at night. I hope you're getting these warnings that are coming out off your phone, because there's a lot of power lines. A lot of power is out now. This tornado's been on the ground for a while and just been ripping apart the power lines and telephone lines and everything. So you might just only have cellular service at this point. And there it is, crossing 75. So there's the town of Anna. So when he said the south side of Anna, it's somewhere like here. So Outer Loop Road we're talking about. Outer Loop Road, County Road 421, County Road 365 on both sides of Outer Loop Road, where 366 runs parallel with it, and it becomes 421. I'm only counting all those out because if you're familiar with that area, maybe this is sounding familiar to you, and so you know where it is in relationship where you're currently in shelter. This tornado seems to be crossing just from the Anna exit to the south, and it is over by Outer Loop Road exit. This is, just off to the north of 121 that splits from 75, and that's where this tornado is going to cross the highway, crossing 75. Like I said, it's probably doing that right now, tornado on the ground, and crossing 75 here at night between Anna and Melissa, maybe closer to Anna. On the south side of Anna would be the better way to describe it. The warning goes, the tornado warning, confirmed tornado warning to 12:15. More reports coming out of Weston of damage. We've been getting reports out of Pilot Point as well. Mike Prendergrass drove right through Pilot Point and saw a lot of tree damage, certainly. And now we're getting all sorts of reports of tree damage, I guess, maybe some structural damage in Weston. We'll wait a moment and try to get more information on that. But that is crossing 75. I'll zoom out a little bit more and show you reflectivity. There's the supercell that's been producing this tornado. Thank you very much, Stuart. He brought me some water. We have one supercell in all of North Texas. It is in northern Collin County, in the Anna Melissa area, crossing 75 in this moment. It is moving into northern Hunt County. The hail is along the county line, moving into Fannin County in northern sections of Collin County, where all the lightning is. The intense lightning is where the hail is going on as well. And yeah, we're getting reports in Van Alstyne of nickel-size hail. They're putting the spotters in position in Hunt County as this is approaching. I'm trying to get the latest movement on this because it's been a while since they've updated the warning. They do have a thunderstorm warning north in Grayson County for the hail, but yeah, the last warning update was at 11:37, and it was showing movement. Movement from this storm was still being east. It was still moving east, but it had picked up speed. I don't think it's still moving really fast now. That speed might have been somewhat skewed by a skip the tornado did. Again, that's just estimating off rotation, trying to read the tea leaves, if you will, because these storms are so chaotic. And you can see what's happened now. There's another rotation that has formed ahead of all this. It's now off to the east of Anna. I'll put it in motion and maybe you can see what happened here. There's the rotation, right? Crossing 75, it splits apart, and now it's skipped again, and we've got this rotation here and still this rotation going on. The chaos that is under a supercell, I tell you, it makes it so difficult to keep track of where there's a tornado on the ground. That's what the spotters really can do for you, but that is just chaos. And even looking at the radar signature, you can see this gap in the reflectivity right there. That's where the rotation is. That's called a bounded weak echo, and that is usually the sign of the tornado, or a very powerful rotation. Certainly one that can produce a tornado. It's difficult to get storm spotter information when it's at night. We did get a report of a tornado crossing over by 289 as it was moved over that, and now we're getting reports that up US 75 in Grayson County, the hail is 8 to 10 inches deep up there. I mean, that's, you know, I was telling you that it's either a lot of small hail that's wet or very big hail, and it was showing it to be a lot of small hail. Well, that is just up to the north of where the tornado is. And I'll circle it again. There's the rotation that's become so chaotic. They move that off to the center. So that's Fayberg and Snow Hill. That is along State Highway 78, Frognut and Verona. You know, this is, again, just kind of a new placement way off now towards to the east of Melissa. It was such a strange thing. I mean, it was approaching both of those towns, and the circulation gave up and then reformed Do you see that? Here, let me circle it. There it was, crossing 75. It gives up and reforms. It skips forward. Nate, do you need to change my mic, you think? Do you want to do that now? Where he's trying to decide what to do. We have all this area, by the way, under a tornado watch until 1 p.m., but it's only one storm, one cell that we're watching. It's that one right there. This supercell has been crossing the parts of North Texas. I'm going to just show you a couple of hours back. This supercell, that's when it started producing tornado warnings, when it was way up in Montague County, and it's been producing tornado warnings this whole time. So if I was to guess on the survey, what it's going to show us is a tornado path that's something like that, just judging by the reflectivity and where the hook has been throughout its path. And the newest warning now includes parts of Collin County, Hunt County, and Fannin County. It goes to 12:15. That's the latest warning, but it kind of reformed again. And I was explaining that just a moment ago. But as we'll zoom in, and let me just again put it just in the last 15 minutes, it's reformed again and trying to form another rotation. When I change it over to velocity, you'll make that out. That suddenly way ahead of where the other one was is now this one. And what this circulation is doing is anybody's guess. Is it a tornado on the ground? We don't know. They've sounded the sirens in Celeste and Wolf City because of this rotation that was a confirmed tornado when it went over Weston and crossed 75. But this new rotation that has just formed might quickly become a tornado. It's very difficult to tell. We need to treat it like one. Reflectivity shows not a real clear signal. There's a little, here I'll clear that. There's a little bit of a dry slot trying to form right there. There certainly is a right rear flank downdraft rushing down from the northwest. And as the National Weather Service described, the old circulation has weakened. New circulation looks to be developing just to the southeast of Blue Ridge, So let's change it back over to velocity, and we can see that there it is. There's the gate to gate, right? And there's Pike, Frognot, Lane, Arnold. Fayberg seems to be, and Snow Hill seem to be kind of right under the circulation, I should say, or right overhead is the circulation that I've circled there. This is near the small town of Arnold. We're on now the east side of 78, and that is a debris signature. So that tells me there's a tornado on the ground. It formed that fast and pushed debris 4,000, and actually right here, 4,800, 5,000 feet in the air. So a tornado is on the ground, chewing up the landscape and throwing debris way up into the atmosphere, a mile up. That is probably just another tornado that skipped ahead of where there was one and reformed, and now we are dealing with this. You notice that it's even showing a couple of circulations, probably from a read before, a scan before, and now the new scan doing that. It is so difficult to tell. This kind of drives home the point, doesn't it? That spotter information that we get on the ground is so crucial because these supercells are just so chaotic. There seems to be a circulation there, and there seems to be that one, but we might just simply be looking at mini vortexes that are wrapped around the larger one. You do see those very briefly if they can reach that high up into the atmosphere. And that might be is what we're going on, which would tell me it's a very large tornado. I wouldn't doubt it because the debris that it's producing is getting kicked up really high up into the air. I mean, that's 5,200 feet, the radar, and it's showing debris at 5,200 feet. Wow. Okay, here we are at midnight now, and tracking this tornado that crossed Collin County, across northern Collin County. In fact, we've been tracking it really since Montague County, but it was almost I guess you could describe it as a confirmed tornado when it crossed 35 and went over the Lake Ray Roberts, and now kind of has reformed as it was approaching Anna Melissa. Big sigh of relief there because it weakened and then reformed to your east. So I know you're still you just now cleared the rain. There's probably still some lightning going on in your vicinity, but the tornado is now to your east, and it is producing a debris signature. So that tells me that this thing, probably the latest information now is that it's very close to Celeste, judging from that debris signature. That's the raw data that it uses. And it is so chaotic in here. There maybe, with maybe another one there. Very difficult to tell. We're looking at so high up in the storm. We're not looking at the ground. We're looking a mile over the ground. And I would say that it's approaching Celeste, the best guess I could give where it is right now. Let's assume that it is as it approaches into Hunt County. There's Greenville, of course, further south, and the campus of A&M at Commerce and the town of Commerce. There's Wolf City where the sirens are going. The sirens are going in Celeste as well. I think the circulation, I think those are a couple of mini vortexes, actually, now that I'm looking at it, of a tornado. And it's moving off to the east. I'm going to track it. It's going to be so hard to figure out its speed because of these multi-rotations. I will use the National Weather Service's 40 miles per hour to the east. I think that's excellent information. So let's use it. There's 40 miles per hour off to the east for 45 minutes. And there you go with some arrival times. Celeste, you have till 12:14. It is 12:06. You literally have 6 or 7 minutes to seek shelter. Kingston, 12:17. Midway, 12:18. White Rock, 12:21. Wolf City, 12:27. It's probably going to pass to your south, Wolf City. But South Sulphur would be at the tail end of that 45-minute journey. That's 12:31. So that's pretty far down the road. It's very difficult in this moment to tell you where this tornado might be. We're getting into a bigger problem, and that we're very far away from the radar side as it continues to move off to the east, and the signal gets a little bit more vague. The tornado warning continues. It continues in Hunt County till 12:15. It's still going on in Collin County to 12:15, but it is there at the edge of the county line now, and getting ready to cross into Hunt County. So this is, let me change the forward speed, and as I put arrival times on it, if that's the new tornado, 12:18 to Celeste. So 12:07 right now. So you've got 10 minutes. You need to find shelter. You need to find the centermost part of your house. I hope you've prepared yourself for a possible tornado getting close to your house, and that you would know where the safe part in your house is. That is crucial information to know in advance, but if you haven't figured that out, you got 7 minutes to find the centermost part of your room, hopefully with no windows and a door, and to find shelter inside there. Try to cover your head, heavy blanket, even a mattress. You know, if the bathroom is in the center of the house, the piping in the walls tend to strengthen those walls, so it tends to be a pretty safe place, the bathroom, if there's no windows and it's an outside wall that's against the bathroom. But anyway, if you climb into the bathtub, put a mattress over you. I'm sure you've heard about people doing that and being saved. This is, we think, a tornado on the ground. I mean, they continue with the terminology of confirmed tornado on the ground, and in Hunt County it approaches. And yes, I know a tornado means it is on the ground, but that rotation right there is getting ready to cross the county line. So we have got to be very vigilant. This has been a reported tornado, and it has been a reported tornado since it came out of Montague County. So this has been going on for a while now. And just so you know, that it's Highway 69, you know, that goes through Celeste, and it's 1562 that comes up from the west. So if any of that sounds familiar, there's 1562 in the small town of Lane. We just got an update. Let me pan out. Yeah, okay. So if you know that small town of Pike or Lane, it's right around there, coming down 1562, Farm Market 1562 into town. And it might cross right over town, right over the high school, and cross over 69 as it continues to head off to the east. That seems to be the next bullseye for this storm. That's the town of Hogeye, by the way, just in Midway, just on the east side of Celeste. There's White Rock. And then you finally run into Highway 34 that heads north. And all that is in the path of this. And what this is, best guess is a tornado on the ground. We were seeing debris here a moment ago from it. And the rotation signature as well. I can back it up. And it continues to try to reform. And there's the debris I was telling you about, and the rotation. So it's looking more and more clear, right there, crossing the county line around Pike, right there, and closing in on Lane. So I need you, if you're in any vicinity of any of these small towns, please find the centermost part of your house and take shelter immediately. Protect your loved ones. This has been a tornado that has been going on for almost, well, over an hour. And it has this tremendous lightning display, but all the lightning, almost all of it, has been up just north along the hill core and north of the rotation. So this lightning storm that's been going on with the the significant hail. I don't know how large it's been. There's been a lot of hail. It's covered the ground as much as 8 to 10 inches. But that hail has been to the north of this rotation, okay? So again, the circulation and Celeste, and then continuing across parts of northern Hunt County. So fortunately, north of Greenville, this possible tornado that looks like it's trying to ramp up again. I'm going to get the latest information on it. All right, so that is the new warning. They've issued a new warning, and that one is going to go till 1 a.m., and they are saying the storm is moving east at 30 miles an hour. 30 miles an hour. Let me make some adjustments on the machine here real quick and show you the circulation. This is moving across parts of northern Hunt County, moving towards the town of Celeste, and that is the rotation that is being shown, the marker that it gets kicked out when the rotation becomes much more clear, all right? And we just now got that one. So the rotation seems to be tightening up. makes it particularly dangerous as it's approaching town. Let's get a little closer. If you're familiar with the town of Lane or 1562 that comes in from the west into town, that's where the tornado is. And it's crossed right around Farm Market 36. And it is moving off to the east at 30 miles an hour. We know there's been large hail with this to the north, and I don't want to downplay that because that can do a lot of damage. But the tornado is what is deadly. And that's why we've been very much concentrating on the circulation. There it is just now. If you're in the town of Celeste, 12:24 a.m. You have 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, I need to make sure you have a safe space, a place to be at where this tornado is closing in on you. I would be forced to say a possible tornado, given the time frame since the last confirmation. The new tornado warning out is for not a confirmed tornado. That goes to 1 a.m. That includes Hunt County and Fadden County, as well as back up, all of Hunt County, I guess, as I should say. And what's strange to see has been the story for the last hour is multiple rotations being formed by this storm. The one to the north seems to be a little bit more deadly, the more closer to the tornado, but that might be a little smaller vorticity getting pulled into the larger one. These large supercells, a lot of lightning. They are reporting a touchdown. I reported a tornado in Westminster. I'm trying to get some more information. Ground truth gets a little thin when you get towards midnight because it's midnight 1, and you can't really see things very well. But also, there's just fewer people around. And Tioga was reporting flooding. Yeah, I mean, I haven't talked about the flooding threat. Obviously, with all the heavy rain we've had of late, it's very much a flooding threat if any heavy rain falls in any one location. And while we're watching, let me stop it. While we're watching the tandem circulations form, though this one is suddenly weakened, maybe it is clearing up now. That's why it slowed down. It was trying to shake off that other vorticity. That's not the right terminology, I know. Thank you very much. Amelia's still here with us, watching the news wire for information for damage. This is the tornado for Hunt County to 1 a.m., and now I just drew the circulation. All right, there is the town of Celeste, and it's been holding off for just a little bit, giving you a little extra time before it comes in. And this is because another vorticity passed to the south of it, and what it did was kind of probably strengthen it, but it had to kind of have a little lull where it backtracked just a little bit. We do have now. We woke up Jake Shannon. He's going to head north on 75 to Anna, and the reason for that is that the tornado was over Weston, approaching Anna, crossing 75, and we're trying to get word on what happened there because it happened here so late at night. It's been tough to get any ground truth out of this storm. I have Stuart McKenzie with me as well. He's a veteran producer on these severe weather episodes. I've been working with Stuart now for 13 years covering tornadoes, and he is doing his best he can to gather information here in the middle of the night with what has been going on. And that's the one reason we have, the other reason we have Amelia here, because that's what she's trying to do. We're all trying to gather information and see what has happened in the path of this tornado that's been going on. Well, I'll zoom out. It literally was picked up somewhere around Montague County and did this. I got to redraw that. Went right over Pilot Point and Lake Ray Roberts. And I kept on saying like the dam, but it was always just north of the dam. But there it is now in Hunt County. And What's really, what it's doing again is that we're getting this rotation and we're getting this rotation, all right? And that kind of slows its forward momentum as it tries to regather into some kind of dominant rotation. It's been holding off just to the west of Celeste and Highway 69 in Kingston and Kellogg there. It's been holding off just to the west, trying to start more in its forward motion. So they're more worried right now to the west-southwest of town. So this seems to be the one that's trying to become the dominant circulation again. That would make sense because that has kind of been the dominant circulation. But as you can see with the latest update, it is still pretty much the rotation that we're most concerned about and the possible tornado. So this is Farm to Market 903, and this is County Road 1096. So as it approaches 69 from the west, just around the Kingston area, I think that's our storm, and that's the town of Celeste right there. That's it. So Kingston, Celeste, and 69 that connects the two. It's gonna cross somewhere right there. It's very difficult to tell because the rotation has kind of been reforming, getting pulled on from another rotation that was just to the south and now seems to died out. That one seems to be moving now more northeast, doesn't it? It seems to be kind of hooked to the left in the last couple of frames. So unfortunately, that does put it closer to downtown. 12:28, 5 minutes. 5 minutes from now. You know, you did get a little extra time as that thing stalled off to your west. But it looks like it's turning a little bit now to the north. Really hard to tell. It always is. It always is when you have a storm that has kind of reforming. But they don't have the confirmed tornado warning now. They have a possible radar indicated tornado. No surprise there. It's after midnight. It's very difficult to get ground truth at night to begin with, and the thing is all wrapped up in rain. It's kind of in the almost the middle of the storm where this rotation is. And when I look at base velocity or storm relative, you know, you can certainly see the circulation. But the other thing to keep in mind is that this circulation is being indicated, being seen by the radar signal that is 6,000 feet over the ground. So we've got another 6,000 feet to the ground, and we don't know what's happening at the ground. Oh my, oh my. So this rotation just down to the south won't give up either. Do you see it right there down, further down 69, closer to Greenville? That one is still trying to form, but this has at the same time kind of weakened as it was approaching the town. So let's hope for the best there. Let's hope for the best. Let me see, they're extending the tornado watch in time and area. So they've changed the tornado watch again. So let me see the latest information on just the watch itself. They're going to, it's now in effect at 2 a.m. So in effect till 2 a.m. I can show you the updated area here in a moment, but let's just hold there. The radar is circled where Celeste is, and I can show you the new warning that goes, it's going to say 1 o'clock, but it's now 2 a.m. actually that this tornado watch continues. So we might have to deal with this problem for a little bit longer, right? They were going to drop the watch at 1, but these circulations now over Hunt County have continued. Whew, I tell you, this is This has just been quite the night. Amelia, I know you're still with us. Have you got anything? Is there anything that you're getting? I know you've been sitting there patiently trying to do something very difficult, and that is gather information in the middle of the night from tornadoes that you can't hardly see. You can, we get reports here and there in the path of it, and I know Stuart has been trying as well to get some information.
So we actually have a video that we got permission to use from a storm chaser out in the area. Well, this is actually a tweet that just came down from the city of Denton Fire Department. So let me pull up that tweet really quick and read that out to you because it's kind of hard to see the text there. So basically the Denton Fire Department says they're sending 4 medics, the Marina Circle at Ray Roberts for multiple victims. So they are reporting multiple victims trapped. They said that they're en route to the Sanger Fire Department to help cover calls. So we know a lot of area cities are helping right now with the damage. I am seeing a lot of damage out there in that Valley View, between Valley View and Sanger on I-35 West. So right now we're seeing a lot of heavy emergency presence out there. Now there is a video that was sent to me earlier of a lot of overturned semis. This is the video that you see on your screen. You can see all the emergency crews out there and you see a ton of overturned semis. This is going to be on I-35, like we were reporting, between Valley View and Sanger, and of course Jeff was tracking. That's exactly where the tornado touched down, right, Jeff?
Yeah, it was.
So right in that
just
area.
To the north there. So yeah, that was near Valley View. So no surprise to see that damage because we were tracking that tornado as it crossed 35. So
again, we have a lot of emergency crews out in that area of Denton County right now. I am still working on getting more information. I'm actually speaking to a tornado victim that says he was actually under an overpass when that tornado hit. So I know that this is creating a ton of widespread damage across North Texas right now, Jeff.
Okay, thank you so much. We're going to talk to you again in a moment. And you know, you were seeing some video from Mike Prendergrass near Pilot Point. We know it crossed over Pilot Point, and what you're looking at there, is that Jake's shot in Mobile 11? He's going north right now, trying to get up towards Melissa and Anna to see what happened when the possible tornado. It was hard to tell what happened, really. We know it hit Weston off to the west of Anna, but it did kind of skip as it was approaching Anna and Melissa, and that's Jake Shannon making his way north so we can get information on there. Now, this is what we know right now. We do have a tornado warning that is out for Hunt County till 1 a.m., and it is kind of over Celeste, though it has weakened, and I'll put this in motion, and if we can, why don't we have news kind of sum up here in a moment everything that we know so far about this tornado outbreak that has occurred tonight. I need a moment to reset some of these machines because we're past the midnight hour, and I have to clear some of this cache data, or these things are going to really slow down on me. They do it automatically at midnight, and I have to force it if there's been a warning going on. I know that's all inside baseball, but you understand that sometimes we're a slave to these computers that do all this crunching for us. So we'll do this in just a moment, but let me bring you up to date on that circulation. Do you see how it's kind of tearing apart? This is good news for the moment, because it could just easily reform in another spot, as has been going on tonight. This is the tornado warning for Hunt County, but I'm telling you right now, in Hunt County and Celeste, that tornado was approaching you. I know there's some powerful winds moved overhead, but it looked like the tornado was kind of lifting when that was happening. The circulation weakened for a moment, and now it's really chaotic in that storm. Let's look at it in reflectivity and see if we can make sense of it. And let me look at it one more time. All right, now let me look at it in velocity. I can't see if the rear flank downdraft kind of wrapped around this thing. But what I'm talking about, you see all this bright green? Sometimes that will take over, and sometimes all it will do is help reform another tornado. And if I had to guess, what was happening is that the right rear flank downdraft wrapped around the tornado that was headed towards Celeste, ripped it apart, and now a new one is forming. And I would guess, if I had to guess, I bet you it would be somewhere right around here. So Commerce, Campbell, heads up. Let's look over storm relative. Yeah, okay, there it is. I think the circulation is reformed again, this time over Tidwell and Jacopa. And there's New Landville up 224. You keep on going up 224, you get to Commerce. So there's scatter branch out to the west and South Sulphur. That's some of the smaller towns near Kellogg that are in the path of this new circulation. I'm not saying that's a tornado. I'm just saying this is a new circulation. And we'll have to see what happens to it over the next couple of scans. This is fortunately outside of Greenville. It's up to the north of Greenville, so it's not in the highly populated area of Greenville. It's north of there, up Highway 34 in the town of Tidwell. And as I look up towards the north, where was once a tornado, I still see this broad rotation going on and the weakening, but the latest scan shows that even that is having trouble. And the latest scan, sorry, that's really hard to read. That's really hard to read. But maybe that's the new circulation forming. Maybe that is it, if one's going to form. They canceled the tornado warning, by the way, for Fannin County, because all this activity has now been in Hunt County for the last 20 minutes. And now we have to see what's going to happen as it approaches Commerce, if indeed the circulation forms. So if you don't mind, if you can take a moment, we're going to turn it over to news for a moment and get some more information, because I know it's been a busy night for everybody trying to get the latest information of what's happening here across these northern tier counties, where I think a tornado has been, gosh, Amelia, I think it's been on the ground for about an hour and a half now.
We've been on the air for an hour and a half straight, just monitoring the same supercell, it seems like. So right now it looks like this is Jake Shannon, I believe, heading up towards that I-35 area where we are seeing all that damage over in Valley View. And this is, again, this is going to be in between Valley View and Sanger, where we initially reported a tornado touching down on the ground. So actually he is heading towards Anna and Melissa. That is a correction I wanted to make there. So he's on the other side, on the I-75 side. So we are going to be monitoring the damage out there. You can see a lot of wet roadways out there from Jake Shannon's shot. So he is going to be monitoring the situation out there. And then also we are working on trying to get more information and confirmation on all the reports we've been seeing. Now, I'm going to be telling you that on social media, we've been seeing a ton of damage photos. We mentioned, or we showed you earlier, a lot of overturned semi-trucks on I-35. If we want to pull that up just really quickly to just refresh and get people up to speed on what we've all been seeing. So again, this is from a storm chaser that was up in that I-35 Denton County area earlier tonight. So we did confirm that a tornado, or a possible tornado, touchdown in this area. You can see from this picture right there, more overturned semis, a lot of damage out there in the I-35 Denton County area. So again, this is going to be in between Sanger, Valley View. We are getting initial reports that there are injuries. According to the Denton County Fire Department, there are multiple people trapped, and emergency crews are working hard, working with surrounding agencies. I believe even Flower Mound is among those agencies just trying to get people help. So prayers have to be lifted up for everybody involved in this. We cover many tornadoes during the storm season, but this night stands out a lot with just the amount of damage and the amount of tornadoes we've been tracking, and Jeff has been doing a really good job keeping us all updated to that. Okay, so this is storm damage in Pilot Point. Who is giving us this video? Mike Pendergrast, sorry. This is Mike Pendergrast. He is giving us live video right now out in Pilot Point. It looks like this is going to be overturned trees in the road you see there. It is incredibly dark, which is, of course, the MO with these nighttime tornadoes. So you can see flashing lights, emergency vehicles. This is not live video. I want to correct that as well. But this is video shot earlier tonight from our storm chaser, Mike Pendergrast. So again, you can see a lot of damage out there, and we're still just trying to get more information on injuries. I will tell you right now, we're getting a lot of unconfirmed reports. We are trying to really follow the emergency management and emergency county pages. And this is going to be pictures out in Sanger. So this is actually a man I've been talking to on social media. This is Andrew Wurst. I'm actually texting with him right now. He claims that he was under an overpass when the tornado hit out in Denton County in that Sanger area. So again, this is actually video, or should I say, photos of the damage. Look at that building. Okay, so look at this. You can just see the metal sticking out of these buildings. I don't know exactly what building he photographed, but he says that he was literally under an overpass when the tornado hit. And so you can see damaged cars in that photo. So I'm actually texting him right now. He claims that he is actually helping clear up some damage with the fire department. So he is working hard to get us more information out there. Again, that is from a tornado victim that claims that he saw the tornado. So this is going to be a live, a picture that the Denton Fire Department gave us. So this is a look at a building just in shambles. This tornado obviously was a strong one. We saw a similar scene out in Oklahoma earlier in the month, in southeast Oklahoma, of these buildings just basically nothing but a pile of debris, and this is kind of a similar thing. So I mean, it is easy to believe that this was a powerful tornado, and we know that several buildings, I'm seeing several buildings that were damaged in that Sanger Valley View area. Again, this is from the City of Denton Fire Department that gave us this picture right here, and they posted this picture on their feed, claiming that they are working with other agencies around that area and claim that there are trapped people that are in need of help and that they are helping right now. So again, we are just trying to get more information on how many victims there are, if there are anybody else that is going to be helping right now. So this is going to be a live picture out. Again, we have Jake Shannon. He's a really good storm chaser. He's a really good photojournalist that chases these storms for us. He's done it for years. So he's heading out to that Anna and Melissa area, heading up on I-75 right now. Of course, we've been tracking tornadoes and tornado-warned storms in that area as well, out in our northern areas. So he is heading up right now. Looks like traffic is moving pretty smoothly, but I'm seeing, speaking of traffic, I'm seeing a lot of pileups, or should I say a lot of backups, so to speak, on I-35. Right now, I-75 looks like it's moving a little bit smoother. But just know that if you are traveling for this Memorial Day holiday, this is going to create a lot of travel issues. So if you don't need to be anywhere tonight, I know it's midnight, so you're probably hopefully at home, snuggled up and safe, but just know that you're gonna want to take precautions, especially into the morning hours as well, because these travel issues could be going on, especially into tomorrow. So we will keep you updated on that as well. But it looks like Jake Shannon, he is heading up right now to just give us the latest on the damage reports out in Anna and Melissa. We know that Texoma area, like Jeff was mentioning earlier, we have covered how that northern part of Texoma northern part of our metro has just exploded with population. So you might think, oh, this is north of the major metro. Well, the major metro is growing. It is more and more people going up to that Celina area, the Gunter area, the Melissa area. All the areas that we spoke of today has a ton of people and population that we probably didn't even see 10 years ago. So that is why we are so wanting you to stay updated on these storms, because we don't know how many victims, how many damage reports there are, but we know that this would have really affected a lot of people tonight. So we appreciate you staying with us on CBS News Texas as we just give you live updates on everything this storm is giving us today. And it has just been a saga, hour and a half of straight tornadoes, of several storms just producing these massive weather issues. So right now we are just getting a live picture from Jake Shannon, again heading up to that Anna and Melissa area. So let's just give you an update to everything that we have been seeing. So Denton sending medics right now. We have a rescue fire to the Marina Circle at Ray Roberts, the Ray Roberts Lake, that we actually saw a tornado touch down over tonight. They are reporting multiple victims out there. We know this is a Memorial Day weekend. A lot of people are camping out in the lake, so we hope that those campers stayed safe. They saw those weather warnings. They got to someplace safe, someplace that didn't involve a tent or anything. So we know that a lot of people are affected out there. We have reports of people trapped. Also major damage at the county line on Lone Oak Road. So that is all that we've been reporting tonight, and we're going to send it back over to Jeff.
Thank you so much, Amelia. So much information there has been coming into our newsroom. So what you're looking at is 9:40, okay? And I misspoke. I was saying an hour and a half because my math is so bad. This day tonight is 2.5 hours. And it's basically a tornado either on the ground or cycling all the way into Hunt County from Bowie and Montague. And if you're wondering what that track is, that's going to be about 100 miles or so, we're talking. So this is a storm, a tornado that has been on the ground, we think, for about 2.5 hours. And it has had a path of destruction along it. Now, there is still a circulation going on. So what I'm going to do is, again, you can see this whole circulation moving. There's Sanger, by the way. We got somebody on the way to Sanger because we're getting reports of terrible destruction there. Pilot Point, where Mike Prendergrass was reporting a lot of damage, wind damage certainly. And then there it was moving across northern Collin County and approaching Melissa, and there was debris being thrown up into the air. And we have Jake Shannon trying to assess what happened there. And now the latest circulation, as we now are off into Hunt County, seems to be much more disorganized. Now, there's still a tornado warning out, and it's in effect till 1 o'clock, or about another 15 minutes. But let us hope that this circulation that you can see right here doesn't reform, or this one down here try to reform. This storm has just been so persistent. It makes me very pessimistic that it's over with, because we're still seeing these really strong winds. But I want you to watch this area of really bright green, because if this is the circulation, sometimes the end of these storms come when the bright green wraps its way around it, and it's not really quite doing that, is it? You'd want it kind of up to here, and that's when the circulation gets cut off by the rear flank downdraft, so it becomes rear flank wrapped. But it is showing some tendencies of that as it's suddenly now moving off to the northeast and east, but we can still see the rotation. Now, the thing to point out, this is just to the south of Wolf City, by the way, and I know you had siren warnings going. It is not approaching Commerce, which is good news because that's a very highly populated city with the campus there. And what we're seeing is that rotation I circled, where I was waiting for the latest information, that rotation continues to weaken. So let us just for a moment hope on to the prayer that that's it. This tornado that went about 100 miles across North Texas has finally started to unwind. And that would be extraordinarily good news. They're saying, the National Weather Service saying, they're, given the latest trends, they're not going to downstream the warning. In other words, put another warning out for parts of Delta County and Sulphur Springs over here in parts of Hopkins County, but they're keeping an eye on it because of the persistent nature of this circulation that's been going on, and you can still see it. But let's look at reflectivity, and that is still the very big supercell. Now, the other thing that you need to know that's been going on tonight is well ahead of it, under the anvil, where there's just been this extraordinarily dry air about a mile off the surface and that extended up another couple of miles. When you have really dry air like that and the rain falls through it, through the anvil, that you get these powerful winds falling to the ground. That's rain-cooled air, and that's been going on all night. And the lightning has been coming out of the anvil well ahead of the storm. And that's what's still going on now in Fannin County by Paris and up over by the eastern tip of Delta County. So, you know, we have to continue to watch for this as it has continued to move off to the east. I'm sorry, earlier I said what is Delta. That tornado warning goes on till 1 o'clock, and we're coming up near 12:50, and they're not going to extend it, but we have to watch it because, well, I'll zoom out. There haven't been any storms all day anywhere here. All right, and the dew points got into upper 70s, which is extraordinarily humid air for this time of year, and the temperatures got into the low 90s. So there's still, believe it or not, still in the middle of the night, plenty of fuel for these storms to feed upon. So that's why we have to be still vigilant, even after the storm produced a path that was somewhere, you know, on and off around 100 miles. And you know the area that we're watching? We're watching this area that's back behind in the Greenville area, because that is where this very warm, humid air is still feeding into the storm, and that's called south flank development, where the storm kind of starts to stretch out. It heads in one direction, it heads off to the east. At the same time, this starts to build, and kind of it makes it look like it's stationary, but it's not. It's just back building. We'll have to watch that, because the velocity, if any tried to form, would be not where you see this broad rotation in the centroid of the storm, but back in that south flank that's just above Greenville. So we will keep an eye on it, and you can see how that centroid now is still trying to get organized. This has been a very persistent storm, to say the least. Here is the last 15 minutes, and you can see that now just off towards the southwest of Commerce, the storm is trying to redevelop, and there it is, where the hail's to the north, and the south side we're still getting a lot of rotation going on. So we were talking to Jake, because we got Jake up in the middle of the night and sent him north. And he's on 75, and he's going to now head to Weston. So we were getting more reports out of damage in Weston. So that's where he is headed, and that's where he is right now. And Weston is just to the west of Annan. And there is his shot. He's on 455, and that's where it connects, you know, coming off of 75, and he is headed towards the town of Weston to try to assess what happened there, because we were getting a debris signature there briefly as it was approaching. So we're going to talk to Jake as soon as he approaches that area, what he's found. We were talking to Mike Prendergrass earlier over Pilot Point, and he was finding damage. So that's the supercell that did all that. And no warnings downstream. A tornado warning that goes to 1 o'clock is getting ready to expire, and it looks like they're going to let that warning expire, and we might go at least a little bit without a tornado warning for the first time since almost 10 o'clock. It was just before 10 o'clock they issued the tornado warning on this supercell, and we're approaching now 3 hours later. That we will finally go without a tornado warning out. And a lot of that time, that 3 hours, it was a confirmed tornado warning. In other words, the polygon was in purple, and we were saying this is not a tornado warning, this is a confirmed tornado warning, tornado on the ground and doing damage. And we have to be careful, take shelter. But that's what's left of that supercell. We will continue to, we're getting into the news gathering mode. Always make this transition where it becomes breaking news and a weather story, and here's your meteorologist tracking the storm. And it morphs into a news story, because when a tornado is on and off the ground for 100 miles, it does a lot of damage. Now, it didn't go over the core of the Metroplex, obviously, but it went over northern Denton and northern Collin County, and there's a lot of population up there, especially around Lake Ray Roberts, and it went right over the lake, unfortunately right over some campgrounds. I don't know if we'll be able to get there tonight, but we'll certainly want to hear reports out of there, and just hope that everybody is okay. But this is that supercell that did all that, and that's all the lightning that's still associated with it. That's part of the hail path that's been part of it. I'm going to put the motion for the last hour and look at the hail path, those really dark colors. It was probably a lot of smaller hail. At least that's what we were getting the reports, not any like baseball size hail, but ping pong size hail, and a lot of it covering the ground where it was falling. That area black stretches from Gainesville. In fact, let's go back a little further in time, because I think it was a tremendous hailstorm that this thing did. Yeah, 2 hours back. Let's go 3 hours back, and I think we're still seeing black coming out of it as it was moving over Montague County. This is at 10 o'clock, and look at the hail that was moving over Cook County, and purple there. Again, that's the confirmed tornado warning. The tornado warning is going to be to the south of the hail core. And also notice that it started to turn right, and that happened when it was going over Denton County and Lake Ray Roberts, and that's usually a sign that it's intensifying. And that heavy hail, that big hailstorm, got into northern Hunt County before it finally gave way. And then the latest information on the storm is that they're ready to expire that tornado warning that's been out. Again, I tell you, we've had tornado warning in progress for 3 hours solid, and now this last tornado warning for Hunt County is getting ready to expire, and they didn't put one out for parts of Hopkins County or for Delta. So that's good news. Let's just hope that it does not reorganize, even though it's got all this very warm air coming up from the south, feeding into this storm and trying to keep it going, which we do not want. We want it to die out here in the middle of the night and call it a night. It's been an incredibly destructive storm. By the way, do you see Jake Shannon's that is his GPS signal coming into the radar site, showing that he is off to the east of 75 and headed towards Weston. That's his live picture. Look how steamy it is still out there. I mean, there's so much humidity in the air. He's having to run his windshield wiper to keep it cleared because it's like almost coming through a fog. And all this haze is representative of just how humid the air is still and was across the course of the day. And, you know, always remember, that's the fuel for thunderstorms. So Jake on his way to Weston to let us know what happened there. Now, they're going to continue a part of this tornado warning. Is that what I'm trying to decipher what they're doing here now with this storm? So a tornado warning remains in effect till 1 o'clock for Hunt County. And yeah, they're just gonna let it ride until 1. Okay, fine. I'm gonna look a little closer because, man, that's a dry slot. That's the system on the southern flank trying to form again. Let's look at velocity. And there is trying right there an updraft, and we're seeing some strong winds. So this is around Commerce and just to the north. This is a lot of lightning still going on, and that is stretched off to the east. And now we're watching to see if this thing will try to produce another tornado. Now, there's strong winds over Commerce right now. That we don't think that's a tornado. I know you're under a tornado warning because that initial circulation is kind of given way, and now we're watching this happen. Going into reflectivity, let me get rid of my little scribblings there. Let's see here over the next couple of scans, what's going to happen here. I really, really would want this thing to call it a night. Everybody across North Texas wants it to call it a night, and that is it trying to reform. All right, so the National Weather Service is watching it. Train spotter is reporting rotation, and it would be very close to Commerce, but probably just off to the east. Let me see. They said State Highway 11, so that is way too close to the town of Commerce because it would be somewhere right around there, I suspect. Let's see if the latest. Let's wait for the latest velocity information and see if we can catch it. It looks like it'd be trying to form to the north, but the National Weather Service continues to state that the tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire. That's really good news because this is not quite organized, really. It's not organized enough to produce a tornado. It's just trying to get reorganized to do something. And hopefully that it's starting to look a little ragged, the rain is in the inflow notch. So that tells me it might be, that inflow might be slowing down and the rain catching up that's falling down, trying to, not getting cleared out. Instead, the rain is getting there and making it look ragged. That's normally what you like to see in an inflow notch. It get ragged because it's the air rushing into the storm. These things are like lungs taking a big breath, that air is starting to slow down and the rain's starting to win the day there. That's good news. I'm looking at it at a wide view in just the last couple of scans and patiently waiting for 1 o'clock, which is going to be 1 minute away. And this red square you see drop out. And we don't have a tornado warning for the first time in 3 hours. Let's hope, because then it becomes a news story and how this information coming in of what happened with this supercell that crossed North Texas tonight. Saturday night on Memorial Day weekend, a lot of people out on campsites, graduation week for many people. There were ceremonies today, I know, and there were also a lot of graduation parties, I would imagine, because of all the graduations going on today. And a lot of people kind of out and about because it's Saturday night. And even up north of the big Metroplex, a lot of people moving around. You definitely don't want to be in a car when there are tornadoes around. One of the many things to be concerned about of a tornado. Then you add on to that, it's at night and you can't really see it. And a lot of people are already in bed and don't hear about it happening. Warnings don't wake them up. The National Weather Service continues to downplay where the state of this cell is right now. There's the warning, tornado warning. Yay. For the first time in 3 hours, we do not have a tornado warning out. Commerce, you're probably getting some hail. Let's check. Yep, it's right over Commerce. Keep in mind the algorithm is delayed by about a scan, sometimes 2 scans. And so when I show you that this hail core is producing half-dollar size hail, this hail core now is probably right over Commerce. Because of the delay in the algorithm calculating those. So if I put it back to reflectivity, you're going to see where the high reflectivity is. And that usually you get those pinks and blacks because of ice from hail, exaggerating the reflectivity. Just to sample the dB, that's 57. That's where's that black mark? That's 65. Those are really high returns. So that's almost always inevitably not heavy rain, but ice, hail that would produce a return like that. When I look at velocity, trying to see if there's any turning of the winds, it's kind of all washed out. And I know in the storm itself, there is still a rotation going on somewhere kind of right in here, but it is not gathered enough, not strong enough in intensity to produce anything close to a tornado threat. So there's no tornado warnings. In fact, there's no thunderstorm warnings out. There is a lot of lightning with a supercell. So let's turn this into a news event, because now what we want to know is how bad was the damage tonight. I'm going to go back 3 hours, and that is the life of the supercell. I'm going to go back 4 hours. This is at 9 o'clock. Warnings in Clay County and Montague, leaving Clay and going into Montague County at that time. That was a warning to 9:45 before 10. This is the supercell that produced the tornado. And I'll have to zoom out so you can see the whole track. So what I want you to watch is this area right here, okay? Because I'm going to change it over to velocity. And you're going to see the track of this tornado. There it is right there. I'll circle it again, right there. That's when the tornado warning came out. It was right before 10 o'clock. And then this tornado, you're going to see the polygons turn purple for a while. And let me make sure I have the cone up, the signatures up. Will help you see that. I'm going to take it off telestrate, and I'm going to tilt it a little bit so you can see the markers. Now, again, I'll back it up. That's the marker showing right there, right before 10 in Montague County. Look what happens with a supercell. One supercell moving across the landscape. This is a path of 100 miles. There it is over parts of Cook County, southern Cook County, and suddenly it was in Denton County, in northern Denton County. There it crosses the lake. We start seeing these debris signatures get thrown out. There it is moving right over Weston where Jake Shannon almost is, and the debris. Then it goes to purple because it's a confirmed tornado, and it's now headed across northern parts of Collin County. After midnight, it's in Hunt County, and finally it's given way. That is quite a journey. I guess it was right here. And if I redraw it the best of my memory, like that, that is a journey. That's a journey of, 94 miles, almost 100 miles on and off the ground, if not on the ground near the whole time. We're getting more reports of damage that is coming in now that all the warnings are gone. There is still a tornado watch out, and the tornado watch continues to 2 a.m. It does include Collin and parts of Hunt County, but really you're cleared. Really, it would only be if you're in Hopkins County and in the Delta County and up there in Lamar County. I would be, still a little vigilant, even though the storm is in regards to Paris at least, is to your south. Then that just has to do everything to do with how the atmosphere has just been ripe with development. But that is the only supercell that formed up across the north, and though it's still producing lightning and very heavy rain. Yeah, it's over in Silver Spring. So like I was saying earlier, we got Jake up to go look at damage. And he went to the town of Weston. He's been driving there. He's driven through Weston now. There's Jake's shot. Can we talk to Jake? Hey, Jake. Jake, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Jeff, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us here in the middle of the night. What are we looking at there?
We're on the west side of Weston right now. We're on 455. You're starting to see some of that initial damage. It looks like a lot of tree damage right now. It's a 2-lane road, and there's a lot of people blocking, trying to signal people around these trees. It looks like this is about where it kind of dives back south. I'm heading towards Celina, so I started my adventures up Anna, Melissa area. Didn't see much damage. I did see emergency personnel kind of wandering around looking for, obviously looking at transformers. Power was out there, so definitely a high wind event. Got into Weston, didn't see much. Found the volunteer fire department. They still had some engines there, and there was crews there, and some local people driving around. So I don't think that there was much in Weston. But now, as I'm going west of Weston, I'm starting to see more and more actual ground damage. So I think that this thing could have been lifting as it was moving east, and still doing, power lines, very heavy winds, but definitely seeing more ground damage as we head west.
Oh, thank you for that report, Jake. That tells me a lot, because when we go back to radar, we were getting reports of a lot of damage around Pilot Point, and look at that circulation. Look how organized it was on the west side of Weston, right there. And I bet you if I sample some of those winds, we were getting some samplings over 100 miles an hour there. It was closing in on Weston. So as Jake was reporting, as soon as he got west of Weston, he was seeing what looked like to be tornado damage, or at least very powerful wind damage. That would make sense now, looking at the radar. But there it is, still just to the west of Weston, and that when you get that debris thing, that could be delayed. That could just be stuff that finally got up into the air after tornadoes been churning off to west of Weston, because that debris had to get up a mile into the atmosphere for it to be. Again, this is looking at the time frame off to the top right there. This is about 11:30 or so. That's 11:20, so that 10-minute span when that might have been that tornado on the ground. Indeed, we won't really find out definitively on any of this until the National Storm Center gets out there and surveys, and they'll probably try to do a survey tomorrow, even though it's Sunday. Yeah, so what a night it's been. Thank you so much, Amelia, for joining me here tonight and staying with us and bringing this update. I want to thank our storm chaser, Mike Prendergrass, being in location. Earlier, Jason McLaughlin got the best video of tornadoes we've seen so far this spring season, in fact, and that was a tornado that was over by Archer County, hit the town. And we are continuing to gather information. We have a Sunday morning show, and we will have a lot of information for that. But there are no warnings out. There is a little bit of a watch area, but the last thunderstorm is not producing any warnings at all. That is really good news. Still some lightning and some heavy rain. I'm First Alert meteorologist Jeff Ray. We called this First Alert yesterday. You can always join us on the stream, Pluto TV, for stream information. But we will have a full report for you tomorrow morning on the track of these tornadoes that crossed over North Texas. Good morning, Texas.